This is not the Hunger Games I remember. Meet Can't Miss Evershot. Yes, I am serious. She's about to take a shot at a birdie when Dale pulls up. She misses, but hits this guy. Talk about popping his bubble, or should I say balloon, because he's in a hot air balloon. Dale and Can't Miss sit and chat. He's brought her some bread, but in fact it's a rock. Then they discuss the upcoming Starving Games, a televised event in which a random selectee from every district is set to fight to the last man. More women or the equality moment is left standing. So Battle Royale, before it was cool. Dale really doesn't want to go. He can't leave his grandma behind. As you can see, she's a little worse for wear as far as canvas. She's got a little sister to take care of. Suddenly, speakers call out for all citizens to meet up for Selection Day. As the pair head over, we learn that truthfully, no one wants to be drafted in the Starving Games. So much so that many even injured themselves so they can't be entered. Look at the top of this man's head. District 12 is home to many people. A little food driving some to eat their own arms. It's real tough out here. The cows don't even make milk. Sadly, not even Magic and Save the Day can Miss meets up with her sister Petunia and their lovely mother. Moving on. At this election ceremony, we watch a presentation about their president, Mr. Snowballs. As a kid he grabbed his own mom. As an adult, he started to blog. That gives away the endings of movies without warning. Wait a minute, that does me anyway, he is the most terrible man alive. No, really, just look. He proceeds to give a brief history on why the Starving Games was created. It all started when President Snowballs was faced with a serious crisis, how to keep citizens in check after the destruction of society from social media, TV, and memes. Oh, and not to mention that Lady Gaga became president, which explains why they wear these kooky outfits today. The answer was simple. Create something that would keep people focused on what really matters. Like old ham, a coupon for Subway, and one half-eaten bagel inspired by Japanese movies, President Snowballs advised the Starving Games. And yes, that's what you get for winning it. After all, who doesn't love having pickles? Time to get to picking crazy hair. Lady reaches her name. It's Hugh Jahns. The ground begins to giggle. Next up, Film a Hooters classic. Last but not least, Dean Goldberry. Could anyone turn around and check for a Dean Goldberry? Okay, for real this time, Petunia Evershot is picked. Can't Miss his sister. Oh no. However, Can't Miss immediately erupts with joy. She didn't get picked. Like yeah my dudes. After a couple of chest bumps with the security guys, Petunia begins to cry. She hits big success with the puppy dog eyes and she can't help but volunteer. Shockingly, as soon as Can't Miss does, Petunia drops the act. Those were fake tears at least. Can't Miss isn't alone. Another citizen volunteers Peter Malarkey. Truth is, these kind of thing for Can't Miss, so he'll follow her to the games. Time for goodbyes. Candace says farewell to Petunia and assures her their mom will take care of her. Are you sure about that? We cut to Presidents, Snowballs, and the manager of the games, Seliga. As we can see, he has the Nike logo etched into his beard. Very cool. Mr. President sternly tells Seliga that he wants everything to go well with this year's games. He would hate it if some underdog with exceptional archery skills and a trademark single braid hairdo somehow inspired the masses to rise up and revolt. That couldn't happen. Alright, let's see some other contestants. We got Marco, District 1's Beef Kank High Five. Oh, okay. Meanwhile, Cat Misses backstage all nervous. Her fashion designer pulls up and gives her some encouraging words until he realizes he's got the wrong girl. He thought she was Stephanie from District 3. He backs away, ashamed. Next on stage is Peta. The first thing they asked him is if he's got anyone special in his life. He does, and that person is beautiful, smart and cheeked up cannabis. Luxon would join her. He must be talking about her. Turns out he's talking about Marco, whatever floats your boat. I guess after he goes backstage and Can Miss gives him a piece of her mind and foot. It's an especially uncomfortable predicament given her toes, but he assures her he's just trying to make an alliance. Okay, next up is Can't Miss. She shows off her new dress with a spin. It even catches on fire, which means she's on fire. At least the ground is loving it. Fast forward to the game's opening. The contestants all stand patiently and booby-trapped platforms if you step off. You go kaboom. Fortunately, we have these dancing dudes to demonstrate, and with that, the games begin. Chaos breaks out. Peter can do nothing more than scream and run away. Can't Miss, on the other hand, patiently waits for an opportunity. When she spots one, she breaks out into a full sprint and manages to grab onto a bag. But so has this girl. Unfortunately for her, she also takes a dagger in the back. Despite this, she continues steadfast in her resolve. How about one to the neck? No matter, 'tis but a scratch. Okay, surely this chainsaw will cut her. Alright, there we go. Can Miss runs off of the bag, but then the girl hops on. Well, what's left of her anyway? With a shove, she's gone for good and can't mistakes off, however she's being chased. But by whom? Oh, the camera crew, right? Watch out parkour. The camera crew falls to the dismay of President Snowball's onlookers. Wonder who this brass young girl from District 12 is. Then we catch back up with their people wherever excited to be on TV. Back to the games. Let's see how the scoreboard looks. A lot of life and a lot not alive. Celica, now sporting the McDonald's logo, decides to spice things up for Can't Miss. He hits her with a hologram tree, but it's only a minor inconvenience. How about some fireballs? Just look at those blockbuster effects. The fire is closing in and Can't Miss has nowhere to run. Maybe something in the bag could help. Oh, fire extinguisher perfect. Can't Miss expertly extinguishes the fire while the onlookers cheer. Celica is running out of options. It's time for the latest and greatest. And technological warfare. Suddenly an angry bird falls out of the sky and bunks Can't Miss. Trust me, this was peak technology in 2013. The crowd of elites is loving it. But that's not all. A watermelon falls from the sky cat. Miss knows just what to do. She whips out a katana and begins slicing away fruit ninja style. She easily gets high score, but there's still trouble looming. One of the fruits survived, and it's a rather knowing type of orange. I'm glad those days are over, and so is canvas from all of humanity. Thank you. Back on the run, Can't Miss hears voices from behind other competitors. She desperately hops onto a tree and climbs to no avail. If only there was a Camus hides from the group that closes in. It's Marco, his buddies, and Pete have mailed the betrayal. Suddenly, the group spots something that they're eager to break apart. Can't Miss trembles in fear, however, what they spotted was a piñata. They break it open and find Alyssa's dreams. However, the joyous moment is cut short when they actually spot Can't Miss this time. Uh-oh. Marco launches a spear. Straight up. But misses, Can't Miss. Looks like he can miss. Then the spear falls back down and impales this dude, because why not? The moment was so spectacular. It seemed kill of the day, brought to you by Belt Life, because life is precious. This is not a real sponsor without any other way to get canvas. Well, besides this bow and arrow this girl has, the group decides to sit and wait it out. She's got to come down sometime, right? While chilling, Can't Miss calls out to the birds and they reply. Sorta, then this girl. I was out from an adjacent tree. Camus is surprised and also now thankfully glean. The girl signals Can't Miss to look up. There's a hive of bees. Oh, she wants her to quietly knock them down. Okay. Camus proceeds to conjure up a chainsaw. The group wakes up alarmed, but the worries are short-lived. The high ends up falling on Can't Miss's head, and then Duval's, also at the group, ends up succumbing to the bees and runs away. Chemist removes the hive and begins to trip out. She looks up and witnesses a double rainbow. Whoa man. Now it's a quadruple rainbow. Taste the rainbow. She looks down and finds her hands turning blue. Now she's Annabee and she's got a navy buddy. Jellyfish start to surround the pair. The man explains that their soul keepers Can't Miss, panics here, not keeping my soul. She swats them away until they're all down. Then the man explains they keep the souls of their ancestors. How could you? That one was his sister. He also reveals that they are a proud alien race created by James Cameron, a man with all the money in the world. Then they are connected. They're braids. Enough of that. The little girl from earlier, I think her name is Rue, slaps Cadmus back to reality and then another one for good measure. Rue comes up with a plan. She'll set a fire to distract Marco. Then Canvas will pick them off with a bow. Never mind Marco standing right next to them. The pair split off as they chase after Canvas. Concerned and outnumbered, Camus goes full Sherlock Holmes, analyzing everyone's weaknesses. She attacks with questionable punches and kicks. As far as this girl, acne cream on to calm her down. With all the foes bested, only Marco remains. He pounces on Canvas with a knife. He raises it. District 12 was shocked, and the elites are at the edge of their seats. Suddenly a whistle goes off. Is that a referee? Oh, it's halftime. We get some cheerleaders and interview District 12 copying that merch and all around having a blast. Whoa. Even President Snowballs has Can't Miss fever. Back on the field, she and Marco rest up and joke about the moment he nearly clapped her. Alright, back to the action. They assume their previous positions. And Can't Miss braces for the inevitable. But then Root pulls up and kicks Marco in the shin. It's highly effective. In retaliation, he picks her up and knees her with a powerful punt while Marco's distracted Canvas arms herself and he's forced to run away. Then she checks up on Rue. She's not doing too well. The little girl asks her to sing for her. Camus begins. But really she wanted Taylor Swift. Oh, there she is, she sings the girl to sleep permanently. Rue has died due to death. The citizens of District 12 become enraged. For this, the elites can't keep treating them like this. Using them for their sick games as a ride is about to break out, an ad for a delicious meal pops up. It just keeps getting more and more yummy. Absolutely delicious. The plumes are now placated. We count to Celica, who now rocks the iconic Starbucks logo. He informed Stonefalls of the civil unrest. The president recommends giving the people more action, like a romance plotline. Celica agrees, who try to spark a flame between Katniss and Peeta. Katniss gets wind of a rule. Change by way of announcement. There can now be 2 winners. Oh great. So Marco and Peter are going to team up to take her out. Never mind. The announcement further specifies that the winners must be of opposite genders. Oh, Cameras likes that. She'll get together with Marco and they can get poor Peeta out of the bigger. But the announcement chimes in again, pleading with Candace to go with Peeta because that's the storyline that was written. Fair enough. She runs off to find him and hears his voice, but can't see him. He used his skills as a baker to disguise himself, but where is he? Oh, I think he's in the gag. The two head off to a cave for shelter. It's pretty cold, so Camus whips out a snuggie and a heated blanket for Peeta or not. As the night progresses, Peeta opens up about his feelings. He reveals he's even been collecting Can't Miss his hair and using it to create dolls and illustrations of their future family. Wholesome Peter complains about his hunger. That along with the cold and he's not doing so well, Can Miss makes him feel better with a kiss. But Celica looks on with disappointment. He sends over Drone and says he's going to need to see some more. For this plot line, yes, the plot, which we will skip over. Just know that Dale is livid. So much so that he walks all the way over to the studio, beats up the guards, and arms himself. Meanwhile, Pete and Camus look for Marco. Where could he be? They take turns going in circles for a bit, then prepare for a final face-off. Then Celica decides to spice things up. He calls in the big guns. The trio is terrified as an unknown group marches forward. Wait a second, Sylvester Stallone. Arnold Bruce Willis Incredible. Or should I say the Expendables? They fire, but the trio doesn't seem to get hurt. Turns out the gunshots came from behind. They came from Dale. Camus runs over and the two big her, before Dale decides he's going to switch his Facebook status to single. Brutal back to business. Marco holds Peter hostage while Camus carefully reaches for an arrow and that'll do. She fires and as her name implies, doesn't miss, with just Pete and Can't Miss standing there suddenly. Another rule change. Again, there can now only be one winner. Peter suggests they both ate these forever sleep berries to protest against the cruel games. Without a winner, they can show the elites whose boss and cameras just sniped him beautiful. Her skills don't go unnoticed as soon a familiar group of faces appear, the Avengers, after an astounding win. They would love to have her on the team, but Hawkeye is feeling a little jealous. Nick Fury tells him to pipe down and reminds him that there will never be a Hawkeye standalone movie. Moral of the story? I have no idea.